Hello students, in today's section we are going to discuss how to design a bell crank lever. So what is bell crank lever and how to design that, how to find out the dimensions of that all the bell crank lever, that we are going to discuss today. So in this lecture, so we discussed that various types of levers are there: first category lever, second category lever and third category lever. So these first and second type of levers are being used in the various engineering applications. Uh, Here you can see the lever is nothing but simply a straight levers. Here all these types are nothing but straight type of levers. But if the levers are angular, then how to design that lever? So this is nothing but the angular lever. You can see it is having angle theta between two arms of the lever. Here one arm, here second arm. L1 and L2 are the length of arms, and here it is nothing but the fulcrum or pivoted point. And both the arms are having at an angle of placed at an angle of theta. Right. So in that case, how to design that lever, that we will discuss today. And here also, how to find out reaction. We can see this is nothing but a simple fundamental equation to calculate this reaction or resultant of that two forces. Here F is F force, here P force, and resultant of that two forces which are at an angle of theta is nothing but this one. So by that simple equation, we can find out the resultant. Sometimes, like in case of the bell crank lever, the angle between the two arms is 90, and when the angle is 90 between the two arms, then this lever is called as bell crank lever. So here it is nothing but theta angle 90 degree. So in that case, reaction can be finding out by this equation only, because cos of theta is equal to 0 if cos of 90 is equal to 0. So here is a simple resultant equation to calculate in case of bell crank lever. So bell crank lever are nothing but like this. It is having an 90 degree. You can see the practical examples of that bell crank lever. Here is also one example. It is nothing but the 90-degree angle between the two levers or arms. So this is nothing but the bell crank lever, and we are going to design that bell crank lever in today's session. So here is the problem statement for the bell crank lever. The problem statement is like this: a right angle bell crank lever is to be designed to raise a load of 5 kilonewton. Here you can see the diagram of bell crank lever. It is nothing but the bell crank lever having 90 degree between the two arms. This is first arm, this is second arm, and an angle between two arms is nothing but 90 degree. So let us concentrate on the problem statement. A right angle bell crank lever is to be designed to raise a load of 5 kilonewton. 5 kilonewton load you can see here at the right side. That load is to be raised at short arm end, right? The lengths of the short and long arms are 100 and 450 mm respectively. You can see here short arm length is 100 mm, long arm length is 450 mm. The lever and pin are made up of steel 30 Ca, that is designation of plain carbon steel, having SYD 400 Newton per mm square, and factor of safety is 5. For lever and pin, the material is same and factor of safety is also same. Then additional data is given is nothing but the permissible bearing pressure on the pin is 10 Newton per mm square. Here you can see this is a fulcrum and this is fulcrum pin here situated at this point. So that permissible bearing pressure on the pin is given 10 Newton per mm square. The lever has a rectangular cross section. The cross section of the lever is rectangular, you can see here, and the ratio of width to thickness is 3:1. Width, this is nothing but the width, and B is nothing but thickness. So width to thickness ratio is 3:1, and the length to diameter ratio of the fulcrum pin is 1.25:1. Means length divided by diameter of the fulcrum pin. Here is the fulcrum pin is nothing but 1.25. That is given. Here you can see the given data. SYT 400 Newton per mm square. Factor of safety is 5. Load F is nothing but here. Load F is nothing but 5 kilonewton. And here is the P force that is to be applied here at the other end or longer end to lift that load. If I applied load here, then here at the pivoted point, the lever goes up and this side will goes upward. So this is nothing but the lifting of 5 kilonewton. So for lever, it is given long arm, short arm distances are given. D by B, that is width to thickness ratio, it is given here 3:1. So it is D by B is nothing but 3. And for pin at fulcrum, here at pin, P bearing pressure is given 10 Newton per mm square, and L1 divided by D1, that is length to diameter ratio, here 1.25 is given. So L1 divided by D1 is 1.25. That is given data. Now we will proceed for the solution of that. In the solution, there are certain steps that is to be followed. So here is step number 1. Step number 1 is to calculate permissible stresses for lever and pin. As given in the problem, the permissible, the material for the pin and the lever is 30C8 having SYT 400, and factor of safety is 5 for both the pin as well as lever. So we can calculate the permissible stresses like this. Sigma T, tensile stress, tensile allowable stress is SYT divided by factor of safety. These are the empirical relation we know. So 400 is given for the material, SYT is 400 divided by factor of safety is 5. So it is 80 Newton per mm square. That is permissible tensile stress. Similarly, permissible shear stress is nothing but SSY divided by factor of safety. So it is SSY is 0.5 SYT divided by factor of safety. These all are the empirical relations. We must know that. So here SYT is 400 and factor of safety is 5. So it is 40 Newton per mm square. So these are the permissible stresses. After calculating the permissible stresses, we must know what are the forces acting on the lever, or various forces we need to calculate them. So here in this diagram we can see the forces acting are nothing but 5 kilonewton at the shorter end. Then P force, that is unknown force right now. So it is acting at the longer end, that is nothing but the effort applied to raise that load. And due to that both the forces, there R is nothing but reaction will be there at the fulcrum. So we have to calculate this P and R first, as 5 kilonewton load is known to us, that is given in the numerical. So how to find out the P? We will calculate P first. P is nothing but effort. So to calculate P, we can take the moment about this fulcrum. This is nothing but the fulcrum. So we can take the moment of this force and this force. So this is anti-clockwise force about this fulcrum, and this one is a clockwise force about this fulcrum. Right. So moment is nothing but force multiplied by distance. So force P multiplied by 450 here in this equation you can see. And these are the anti-clockwise and clockwise. So we can equate that about this fulcrum. So P into 450, that is equal to 5 kilonewton, that is 5 into 10 raised to 3 multiplied by this shorter arm distance is 100. So 5 into 10 raised to 3 multiplied by 100. This is just a moment. So by that equation, solving this equation, we can get the value of P, that is effort required, 111.11 Newton. You can see here the load to be raised is nothing but 5 kilonewton. So that is nothing but 5 into 10 raised to 3 Newton, that is 5,000 Newton. And here we are applying the effort is nothing but 111, means 1,111. So this is nothing but the lower effort, lower amount of load is to be required to apply to lift a larger amount of load. That is actually the application, or that is actually the function of levers, and that is called as mechanical advantage. So this is, by this equation we can calculate this P value, and then we need to calculate R, resultant of that, or reaction acting on the pin. So reaction R is nothing but, by simple equation, under root of 5,000 square plus this P square. So P is nothing but this one, 1,111.11. So 5,000 square plus this square, we get the reaction R. You can see the reaction is nothing but maximum force among these three. So this is nothing but the reaction and calculation of all these forces. So after calculation of all the forces acting on the lever, the step number 3 is to calculate diameter and length of fulcrum pin. So how to find out the diameter and length? Here is nothing but fulcrum pin. R is nothing but reaction or force acting on that fulcrum pin. And how to find out that diameter? So by to calculate the dimension of the fulcrum pin is to be considering the bearing pressure. It is subjected to the bearing pressure. So based on the bearing pressure, we have to find out the dimensions. So how to find out that? So bearing pressure, here you can see the P, small p is nothing but bearing pressure. So bearing pressure is nothing but force divided by area of that pin, right? So force is nothing but R. R is a resultant force acting on the pin, and projected area of the pin we have to take. So D1 and L1 are nothing but diameter and length of the pin. So D1 multiply by L1. Here in this diagram, you can see how to calculate projected area. So this is cylindrical pin is there, and the cylindrical pin is to be projected in rectangular section. So this will be a diameter D1 and this will be a L1, right? So this is nothing but the projected area of the pin, length of the pin, we must know. So how to calculate, where D1 is the diameter of fulcrum pin, L1 is the length of the fulcrum pin, and small p is nothing but bearing pressure. That bearing pressure is given in the problem. So you, by putting all these values here, we can calculate reaction we have calculated in step number 2 is nothing but 5121.97. Then P is nothing but 10, that is given in the problem. D1, as we have to calculate D1, and we know the relay that equation D1 divided by L1 is 1.25. So that is also given in the problem. Length to diameter ratio, that is mentioned in the problem. So length is nothing but 1.25 times D1. So by putting all these value here in this equation, only D1 is unknown. So by calculation or by using this equation, we can calculate D1 value as 20.24 mm. That is diameter of pin. So how to calculate L1? L1 is nothing but 1.25 times D1, that is mentioned in the problem. So 1.25 multiplied by this D1, we get the value of length of the pin is 25.33 mm. So that is all about the diameter and length of the fulcrum pin. So we must understood that we have to make sure that the pin is to be designed based on the bearing consideration only, bearing pressure. Now finding out in step number 4, we have to check that stress, shear stress in the pin. How to check that shear stress, or how to calculate the shear stress? You can see here, R is nothing but load acting on the pin. So the pin is getting subjected to the direct shear stress, and there will be the double shear, right? Double direct shear stress. So how to calculate? Simple, by equation force divided by cross sectional area of that pin. So force is nothing but R, and cross sectional area is nothing but pi by 4 D1 square. That is the circular cross section. So here 2 is taken because there is the pin is subjected to the double shear. So here 2 times projected cross sectional area. So this is nothing but the shear stress. By putting all these values, we can get the shear stress value is 7.96 Newton per mm square. And as this shear stress is less, allowable shear stress is nothing but 40 Newton per mm square. We calculated in first step. So this value is less than the allowable stresses. So design of pin is safe. So after the design of pin, here this is nothing but the pin, and we have to find out the diameter dimensions of boss. Boss is nothing but outer ring. You can see here, this is nothing but the outer ring, and this is nothing but the boss. So how to find out the boss? So dimensions, the inner diameter of boss is nothing but diameter of pin, that is approximately equal to the diameter of pin. So diameter of pin is nothing but 20 mm, 20 point something is there, so round up is 20 mm, 21 mm. So inner diameter of this ring or boss is nothing but 21 mm, and outer diameter is generally taken as 2 times inner diameter. So this outer diameter of this boss is nothing but 2 times this 21, so it is 42 mm, and length is nothing but 26 mm, that is equal to length of pin. So by that we can calculate the dimensions of boss. Boss is simply this circular ring, right? So this is dimensions of the boss, and the last is the remaining is nothing but dimension of cross section of levers. So to calculate the dimension of the cross section of lever cross section is nothing but we have to calculate this dimension. This is nothing but the width, and P is nothing but thickness that we need to calculate. So to calculate dimension, we can see here by this equation, it is clearly understood that lever cross section is subjected to the bending moment. Here P is 5 kilonewton force is acting, and due to that the lever at this section will be subjected to the bending stress. So how to calculate bending stress here? So sigma B, we have to calculate bending stress by simple equation, bending moment Y divided by I. So we know this is given in the problem that lever cross section is nothing but 3 times width of the lever is 3 times the thickness. That is mentioned in the problem. So D is equal to 3B. How to calculate bending moment? Bending moment at this point is nothing but 5 kilonewton multiplied by this length 100, right? So 5000 multiplied by 100, that will be the bending moment. And Y is nothing but farthest distance from the neutral axis, this y. Y is nothing but farthest distance from the neutral axis. Here is nothing but neutral axis. So farthest distance is nothing but d by 2, and d is equal to 3 times b. So it is 1.5 b. That is y, farthest distance. And I is nothing but area moment of inertia. I for rectangular, here cross section of the lever is rectangular. So for that purpose, I is nothing but bd cube by 12. So b is the thickness, d is nothing but width, so it is d. Here we can see d is nothing but 3b, so b d cube divided by 12. And bending stress is sigma b. Sigma b is nothing but 80 that we have calculated in the first step, allowable bending stress. So sigma b 80 Newton per mm square. So by putting all these values, 80, 5000 into 100 multiply by 1.5 b and divide by bd cube by 12. So here in this equation only one is unknown, that is b. So b unknown needs to be calculated by simple solving this equation. So b comes after solving is nothing but 16.09 mm, and this is nothing but the thickness. Here you can see the thickness, and here diameter dimension d, that is width, is 3 times b, that is mentioned in the problem. So it is 3 times this one, so it is 48.27 mm. So this is all how to calculate dimension of cross section. Okay, and likewise we can design the bell crank lever. Thank you.